Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinelli podcast. I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit chaotic. I am currently in my office, and if you've been watching here on YouTube, I've been recording out in my lounge area, and I need to record some meditations for my masterminders. So I had to set up my mic exactly how it is now, but it's a little bit chaotic. Right here, I have my big box light because my ring light for the office just was not cutting it. And I have crap everywhere. I really need to clean my office because, yeah, I've kind of just been doing stuff and leaving it in here and working out there some days. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm actually in the vibe. I don't want to wait till the weekend. I'm actually in the vibe to record a podcast episode today. And especially with what I'm going to be speaking about, I'm super excited about. And then I was like, I know I'm going to want to do something more chill, which is recording for my mastermind as the meditations, which, by the way, my mastermind, Will Mastery Mastermind, it's all about elevating the success and the fulfillment in your relationships, your career, or your business, and your wealth through the power of subconscious reprogramming. It's a 4 month mastermind. You get both group and one on one support. It's just, if you are not yet following me on Instagram and you have not been seeing my stories, number one, go follow me over on Instagram at Jess Pinelli. It's the same as this YouTube username if you're watching here. And if you've missed my stories, go to my highlights and click the mastermind one because, above all, you learn strategies and concepts and frameworks that, number one, you can take for life when it comes to subconscious reprogramming, because you lock that in. If you're able to do that, you can change everything about your life. But the community aspect, and especially this week, all the masterminders are going through different degrees of challenges. And it's just been so heartwarming as a coach, as a mentor, to actually just see them be in a mastermind and support each other. And especially if you are a high achieving woman, you're a busy woman, and you are looking for like minded women, this is perfect for you. All the details are in the show notes below, whether you're watching, whether you're listening. But before we get into today's episode, which I also in the mastermind, if you're thinking, okay, who is this for? Do you have to own a business? No, I have business owners, I have moms, I have students, I have single women, women in relationships. Like, you don't need to have a business, you don't need to have a particular career. It really is just about elevating your life and bringing into that next level. If you have that next level in mind when I'm speaking, you're going to want to apply for the mastermind. So, again, all the details in the show notes below. But let's do an angel card. I keep these angel cards in my office. I have used them before here on the podcast, but these ones, they were my mum's. They have like little affirmations, and I'm filling the pull to pull three of these. But while I'm shuffling, I want you to first, number one, think of a number, one, two, or three. Whatever came to mind first, just choose that one, roll with it. I always say this, but don't second guess what you think it should be. So whatever popped up, one, two, or three, hold that. And then secondly, I have noticed that there is a huge percentage of you that come back and you watch here on YouTube the podcast every time I release a brand new episode, a brand new video here on YouTube. And I love the support. But if you are not yet subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you could hit that subscribe button. It helps my channel more than you know. So, have you got your number? One, two, or three? I'm going to pull them out. Okay. So, they are affirmations. They're not angel cards. They're like angel affirmations, I guess. My number ones. This is your affirmation. I am worthwhile. So I guess when you pick this one and whatever's been in your mind, maybe for what you've clicked on this podcast episode for, this is a reminder: I am worthwhile. You are worthy of everything you truly desire. My number two, our home is protected at all times. So I'm going to take this as two ways. Yes, I can quite physically like be your home, the home you're in, the apartment, like wherever you live. Maybe you're traveling, or it can be, I can see this as also like your body. Like your actual body is your home. You have every single day. So it is protected at all times. Maybe some of you are going through health issues, or maybe some of you are just looking for a change in your actual physical home environment. So your home is protected at all times. And then my number threes, my life flows smoothly. So I'm getting this as more of a reminder that life doesn't have to be chaotic. Life doesn't have to feel like it's out of place. I definitely feel, I'm not gonna lie, when I got on to before I press record, felt a little bit dysregulated, like all over the place. But I really think it's because there's just so much piled up in front of me. I already feel better speaking to you all now anyway, but my life flows smoothly. And this is just a reminder that it is happening always for you and not against you. So I hope those affirmations, take that for your next day, for your next week, until you listen to the next podcast. But those are all reminders. So let's get into the episode today. I'm going to be talking to you all the reasons why your business right now is not making the money or having the success that you want. I just wanted to put that last part in there because money is not the only factor of whether a business is successful or not. It's absolutely not. And yes, it is a big factor, especially in today's economy. But I just want you to, as I'm talking about the different, I have five, I've just written them all on a post it note. So don't forget them. I think I have five there of these reasons. Remember, I want you to think of overall success, not just monetary success. This can be applied. I think I should put a small disclaimer. I am really keeping in mind like online businesses, online coaches, online, whether you're a product based business as well. But all of these, honestly, if you have a brick and mortar business, this can be applied to that as well. So listen to these things, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is something, an episode where you can listen to when you're just feeling a little bit stagnant in your business. And like I said, whether it is you're not making the amount of money you want to make, you're not seeing the sales. And if you haven't already, I recently ish, a couple of months ago, did a series, a whole business series. So if you love this episode, definitely go and listen to that business series. I talk about different things like content, sales, money mindset, the nitty gritty of business. That's definitely something I'll probably refresh in the next couple of months' time. And I'm feeling really lit up about this topic. I had a business strategy call with a new client, and it was just incredible. And as I was speaking, I was like, oh, I want to speak about more about this on the podcast as well, because, it is a big part of who I am, what I coach, what I do, and being in this business 5 years. And I was a personal trainer. And yes, it's different degrees of businesses, but I was running my own business as well. And so I don't know everything. And I haven't got the most success as other coaches have, but what I do know are the things that really do work. The trial and error that I have gone through over the past few years. And yeah, seeing also, I have a lot of business owner friends. And when I have conversations with these are the things that I probably feel over the past couple of years have definitely come up continuously and are things that are big, big reminders. So, online business, product business, coaching business, brick and mortar business, whatever it is, listen to these points and think, how can I start to think about them better in my current business? So, my number one, I'm starting with the most obvious. Look, all of these may be obvious to you, but what I'm going to say there is sometimes just because it's the most obvious, sometimes that means it's the most overlooked and it's not actually actioned, or you aren't actioning in the way that it is the best of your abilities. So, my number one point here is you have no consistency. And again, I know you're probably like, obviously, you have to stay consistent for something, but it's crazy the amount of conversations. Both my clients, I have, half in business, half I coach them because of personal life, but the amount that has not stayed consistent, right? And this is why they've come and they've had a mentor. But the consistency part is absolutely key, but seeing something through. And I just want to remind you that if you aren't staying consistent in what you were trialing and what you were doing, you can't, like, for example, again, like I said, a lot of my examples are going to be online businesses, but these can be applied in whatever way. If you are launching a program or a product on your online business and you put it up on your stories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no one's buying. And then you get to Thursday and you're like, oh, no one's buying. no one's buying, and then you start to maybe talk about something different and you start to like change your strategy or change your tagline or change your branding. That's not consistency. 3 days in a row is not consistency. And again, this may seem like the most obvious thing, but I see it so much, especially in business, is the lack of consistency with something. You really need to try something to be able to get that feedback. And this is actually going to get into another point of mine, but I just want you to check your consistency levels. How consistent are you at the things you're doing to move the needle in your business? If you're saying that you're showing up every day and it's like, you're just posting your breakfast and a motivational quote and maybe like a one canvas slide of like, click this link if you want to buy my program or my product, that is the laziest. I'm just going to put it out there. That is the laziest level of consistency ever. Consistency needs to be the things that are moving the needle. Posting your breakfast, a quote, and like one link isn't moving the needle. You need to compound the consistency. And some of you may be like, well, actually, and let me know, like in the comments below, if you're watching here on YouTube, definitely let me know in the comments if you struggle with consistency and let me know exactly why. Like what comes up for you when you're struggling with consistency. I can always do a different podcast episode on that. If you're listening, slide into my DMs, let me know what you struggle with. Again, I can speak about consistency more, but I think like be very aware of what you think is consistent, but actually isn't driving the needle forward, isn't making any leeway. And you can normally tell, like, all of you who are watching and listening to this podcast, you're high achieving women. You're women that are smart. You're women that are switched on in the mind. You do this type of work, you do the inner work. So I know you all know what consistency is and when you're lacking in it and when you're not doing it to the best of your ability. And don't be upset if you were doing something and you put in like 30% and you're expecting the results. You need to really drive and stay consistent. And one example I can give you, I often have conversations with people like, I'm just the amount of content that you put out, the amount of content that you can film in and go, the amount, do you know why? Do you know why content is so easy for me? It's because I've been so consistent at it for this business in particular for nearly 5 years. For nearly 5 years, I've stayed that consistent that now it's so embedded and it's easy. What most people film in 30 minutes, like they may film 3 videos in 30 minutes. I can easily smash out, because I've done it before, 15 to 20 TikToks in 30 minutes. And some of you may come up and be like, oh, yeah, but it's probably shitty quality. No. And this is going to go into my next point. It's like the consistency factor of getting better at something. So, number one, consistency. Number two kind of feeds into this, but doing something and not giving yourself feedback. Again, if you will go back to the exact same example, if you are posting your breakfast and a quote and then a canvas slide with the like, click the link here to buy, and you just keep repeating that and you're not making any money or you're not getting the results that you desire, you're just repeating the same cycle and you're not giving yourself any feedback. You need to get, as a business owner, you need to get really, really freaking good with giving yourself feedback and consistently. One thing I said to the woman I had a business strategy call with, I was saying to her, you need to every single day, we're actually specifically talking about content, but I was saying every single day, you need to look at the content you produced the day before, and then you need to give yourself feedback. It's not about shaming yourself. It's not about judging yourself, but give yourself, like, how can the hook be better? How can the lighting be better? How can your speaking volume, the way you present yourself, are you using your body language? Like, how can that be better? And this is where most people fail. You may have listened to point one and been like, I am consistent, I'm doing okay, but are you repeatedly consistent and there's no movement, no feedback? So if you are struggling in business right now, you're not getting the results you desire, you're not reaching the success that you desire, this is the biggest one to look at, right? These are all big, but this is a huge one to look at that, again, is so overlooked by people. They think I'm doing all of the things and they're not getting the results. Okay, change it up. Like, where are you giving yourself feedback? Where is it not working? And this is what I had a conversation with my masterminders with this week, is like, they are so good at minimizing that gap between the idea and the execution. Most people have this huge gap in between. It's like they have this idea and like 3 months later, actually, I'll give an example for this. I was at one of my friend's studios and I was having a conversation with a random woman, and she was wanting to start a business or like rebrand her business. And she wanted to make a new Instagram account. This conversation was at the start of December. My friend said that in by the end of January, she came back in, she had a conversation with my friend, and she was still deciding between two Instagram handles. That is insanity. That like started December to nearly, that's like 2 months. And this is what I mean. People have an idea and then they have this lag between execution. And one thing my all of my clients, not just my mastermind, is my one-on-ones do so well is they have this idea, they have the execution, and they minimize that gap. It's short, it's small. Sometimes it happens, I'll have a conversation and within the next 30 minutes, they're starting to action it. If it's something bigger, like my business clients, it's like within that same day, they're messaging me and they're saying, could I get feedback on this? I've started to action. Get better at not repeating the same thing and giving yourself feedback, which leads me into number three. If you're struggling with that and you know how have no idea how to stay consistent and to give yourself feedback and to know, like, am I lagging too much? Am I overthinking things? Get a mentor, get guidance, get a coach. You don't like, if you are truly driven and love what you do and you really truly want to build this online business, or this brick and mortar business, product coaching, whatever it is, and this truly drives you, you should be investing in some type of guidance. You should be investing in some type of mentorship. And again, whether it's with me, whether it's with someone else, another coach you're thinking about, as I said, that there needs to be the support. It's just like if someone wanted to be in the Olympics, they aren't going to stay consistent and give themselves feedback and hope to get in the Olympics, right? And again, you might come up me and be like, oh yeah, but it's different to the Olympics. It's not. If this is something you truly, most people don't want it enough. I made a TikTok about this. I think like so many women actually just don't want it enough. They don't want the desires that they put on their vision boards. They don't want that business that they keep speaking about. Like they don't want it enough. But if you are the small percentage that's listening, it's like, I do want enough. Invest your money and your energy and your time into getting a mentor, a guidance coach. Get in spaces with like minded people, learn more, ask questions, get better at asking questions, get the feedback, get the guidance, close that gap. If you are struggling, if you're like, okay, I really want to close that gap and I want to do better, but I overthink so much, or I struggle to hold myself accountable, do it. Invest in yourself. Make this the year that you invest in yourself. You invest in your business. It's not just investing in yourself, it's investing in your business. And this is why, I do both mindset and business. It's so important to have the both of them. And I think that women who are serious about business, if they are not investing in themselves in some type of coach, mentor, guidance, support in some way, shape, or form, you're going to struggle to move forward. You're going to struggle to see the success. Doesn't mean you won't have success, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean you're not going to make money, but I promise you, like, there is something about getting in the rooms with people that have done the things you want to do, the people that can give you the strategy and the concept. And this is something that I'm so proud about in my one-on-ones and my mastermind, is because, there's a lot of fluffy shit out on there, the internet, with, support and containers and all of that. And it's fluffy crap. And the reason why my clients are consistently getting results, and even when they fail, they still get results, is because they have invested in themselves. But there's things that are strategies, there's concepts. We don't talk about fluffy. We don't just get on a call and talk about, motivate each other and hype each other up. No, like, yeah, that's a part of it, being each other's cheerleader. But it's also like, okay, how are you going to get from here? Let's do a strategy. Like when I did the business strategy call, I did the exact thing. I said, here's a plan. Shared my screen and I went through the plan of attack. And I always, in my containers, it's all about the really tangible things. And sometimes as high achievers, we're ambitious. We have these great big things we see in our head, and we're like, this sounds great, but often that's just the dopamine hit we get. And then we don't take any action from there. So make this the year that you invest in yourself and in your business to get the support that you desire. From there, I like this point that I put: disguising unproductivity for productivity. So, what are you really doing in the day? that you think's productive, but it's actually not. Again, this feeds back into probably the number 2 point of just repeating the same thing. Are you just making lists? Are you just maybe making some Canva graphics? Are you maybe doing 10 minutes of DM outreach? Are you replying to your comments? Are you checking your emails and calling it a day? Maybe you filmed one TikTok or made one reel and calling it a day. Yeah, it's kind of productive, but it's not moving the needle. And this is a conversation that I say with so much love because it's a conversation I had to have with myself as well. Those productive things are probably unproductive things. And they're probably things that you're drawing out, right? And this comes from having a fear of success, having a fear of judgment. Fears are into this. And I have done a series about all the different fears. So definitely like scroll through the podcast and go listen to those. Probably do a refresher in a few months. But just for point of reference now, you can, if you're like, oh, yes, I have a fear of judgment or success, go listen to those. And I think that we can make ourselves feel so productive. It's like, we've all experienced it. We get to the end of the day and we're so exhausted. It's like, I haven't really done anything. I haven't really achieved anything. And that's our brain tricking us, telling us that we're being productive when we're not really. And so start to look at, are you actually being productive, or is it like an unproductive productive that's actually not moving the needle? And then my last one, my very last one that I'm so big on is you're not taking enough risks. You're not taking enough leaps and enough bounds. If you want an exceptional life, if you want an extraordinary life, if you want a magical life and something different, like think about everything that's been normalized. It's so normal to go to a 9 to 5 and grind and be unhappy and save up for that one holiday a year that you can only take 2 weeks off, and you're exhausted every weekend, and then you have to get married, you have to have kids, you get a more like all of that crap. That's been normalized. You know what's not normalized? Investing in yourself and your business. You know what's not normalized? Making so much money that you don't have to worry about what you're doing, not struggling, not complaining. What's normalized is complaining. Like, what's the magical life that you desire? What's the life you truly want? Because that will only come when you are taking risks. That will only come when you are taking risks, and you are taking risks quickly. You're making quick decisions to take risks. And you might be thinking, well, I'm shit scared of failing. But failure equals feedback. This is like a side point, a bonus point. Failure equals feedback. I think I said this maybe in my last episode, but success is great. So success is amazing. It doesn't teach you shit though. Like failing gives you all the feedback you need to be better and to succeed even more. And so take more risks. Invest in that mentor, take that leap, launch that thing that could potentially fail, show up more, do something controversial with your content. Like take the risk, and there's only a small percentage of you that are going to listen to this and start to take action on all of these points and actually see a difference. Then there are going to be some of you that get the dopamine hit from this podcast episode and feel really good and feel really inspired for the next day or two, and then forget about it and continue your unconscious self-sabotaging cycles. And if you feel that is you, then start to have an honest conversation with yourself. But if you are in the small percentage that's like, yeah, I'm taking it, I'm doing all of this, you need to come into my mastermind. You need to jump into my mastermind. You need to apply the link below in the show notes. You need to apply, come have a conversation with me over on Instagram if you want to find out more, the logistical stuff, how it works, all of that. But that's the type of woman I'm looking for. Is so ready to change, so ready to up level. So many women speak about, I want the next level, I want more money, I want better relationships, I want a better career, I want a better business. That's the space Will Mastery Mastermind. Anyway, I am going to leave you now. My voice is a little bit sore. I think I need to drink some more water today. I feel like I'm dehydrated. But all of these, I say with so much love. Like I've been there, I've experienced these, I've been in business a long time now. And I just want to share that these things, if you actually start to consciously think about them and change them, they are going to make a difference. You're going to see a difference in your sales, in your presence, in the clients that you attract. And that's what you want. You want all the things you truly desire. So if you enjoyed this, I would love if you hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to this, take a screenshot, share it on your story. I love to see it. And as always, I appreciate and love every single one of you. And I will speak to you in the next episode. Bye.